It's the Standard Pauper Show. It's a show about Standard Pauper. Hello, everybody. It's Brennan. That's right. With my co-host, Vault Boy Hunter, also known as Sam. Say hello, Sam.
Hello, everybody.
Today, like the screen says, we got commons to preview. It's another preview show. Khans of Tarkir is coming out, and they've already started showing some commons. Not that many, but we're going to go through them anyway, because that's what we do here. We take what little crumbs Wizards gives us, and we make an entire show out of it.
It's amazing.
That's what we can do is incredible. Alright, what happened this week? Well, over the weekend, our friend R. Remedio, good guy, ran the SPDC, the Sunday Deck Pauper Challenge. I don't even know. Sunday Pauper Deck Challenge. Yes. Why did I not know that? Why did it take my brain like 5 minutes to figure that out? Man, I should start doing drugs or something.
I don't know. Yeah. Drugs good.
Yes. Drugs bad. You know, except for the ones that Mother gives you.
Yeah.
Okay, first place, White Weenie by Big B. Second place, basically Orzhov Auras. Fourth, the two fourths are Red White Heroic and Mill. But as much as I love Mill, let's talk about the winner, the White Weenie. You got your normal set. You got Oromancer, Hopeful Eidolon, Sungrace Pegasus, Syndic, Keening Apparition, Heliod's Pilgrim, which is an awesome ad from M15, I would like to say. Wingsteed Rider, Ethereal Armor, God's Willing, Pacifism, Johnny's Presence, Celestial Flare. And for land, Big B wanted me to make sure and say there are no more fountains. It's all 4 Evolving Wilds instead of the fountains. He put that note in there. I'm guessing. I'm because I'm a selfish person, I'm going to assume the note was for me. But in his deck list, it specifically said, "Look, I took out all 4 of the fountains." I was like, "Okay, I noticed this. So I will make sure to say it."
Isn't Sungrace Pegasus? Wasn't that one of the M15 cards?
Is that the 1/2 flyer lifelink?
I think it replaced the other one, so that's 2 different M15 cards, so that's pretty cool.
That is cool. I like that. Yeah, I like that better than the Pegasus that can't attack. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, we were running it because we had to, but still.
It makes a better target for all of the pump and the enchantments and stuff, too, because it's got the built-in lifelink, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Much, much cooler. I got a sideboard. It's kind of your normal sideboard, Beck and Apparition. So if they're targeting anything in the graveyard, you got Celestial Flare for some removal. Razor Tip Whip, because sometimes you just need to ping them. Let's look at an opening hand. Whoa, this is off the screen. Hold up. There we go. Now it's on the screen. Okay, we got a Plains, an Evolving Wilds. Alright, deck thinning. Another Plains, getting towards Floodville. God's Willing. Then you got Hopeful Eidolon, Ethereal Armor, and Oromancer. I think this is pretty good. I like what I'm seeing here.
I think it's pretty much a keep.
Yeah, I can't think, because basically you have Hopeful and Ethereal on turn 2 if you play Evolving first, which is what I would hope you would do. Yeah, and you got God's Willing for protection, Oromancer in case anything falls off. I can't imagine the remaining cards would have to be pretty bad in the next 6 to make this a terrible keep.
Yeah, it definitely would. I mean, really, you could go Hopeful first turn into Armor with God Willing up to protect.
It's true. That might be a better move.
So I mean, that's just an excellent like 3/3 lifelink second turn with protection. I mean,
It's
just that's
ridiculous.
just really pretty, really pretty. So
Yep. Let's see what the next 6 give us. So we got another plains. Yeah, kind of flooding here. Then we got a Syndic. That's kind of cool, actually. Another hopeful. Looking really good. Another plains to pump. Use that Syndic's extort ability. Gonna need as many plains out there as you can get. Up, and there we go. Some more protection of Johnny's presence. And another Auramancer. Yeah. I can't imagine how you can go wrong with this hand.
I mean, just all of that redundancy, all of that protection, all of that. I mean, it's no wonder that Big B won. Just with draws like this deck is super consistent, and it's just a pain. It's just a pain to play against. So it's really cool.
I think so. Good job, Big B. I hope you watch the show. Because I totally called you out in the beginning saying that you wrote me a note. We can pass notes in class together.
Yes.
All right, but looky here. Khans of Tarkir, spoiler time. Cannot wait to get started on this. This is the last 3-piece set, and even this set isn't going to be truly three sets in the block. They're making, I believe, the last set a standalone. Is that correct? Do you remember them saying that? Because I thought they were going to do the drafts. Like the drafts are going to be like either 2 or.
How it's going to work is it's going to be Khans plus the second set, and then the second set plus the third set.
Ah, okay.
But they designed the third set to be able to draft alone, so when the rotation happens and we start going 2-set blocks, it's going to be draftable by itself during that rotationary period. Morrow explained it in his column, but he's like, we'll explain it more later. But they designed, it's still underneath the code name Huey or Dewey. I can't remember which one it is. So they designed Dewey, I think that's which one it is, to be draftable entirely by itself. But it's not going to, you're going to draft it with the second set because the second set's going to have the time travel theme in it. So it's going to bridge the 2 sets together somehow. But of course we'll find out more about that in December or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, that's how it's set up right now. But I mean, that's this draft. As far as it goes, I think the last set's going to be in standard by itself or something like that. I can't remember. He described it in some way that made it necessary to have it around, but I can't remember why. Maybe it just was standard would be too small without it.
Yeah.
During the transition from 3 to 2 or something. So
yeah, that makes sense because in the future, when basically you're going to have 2 full sets in, and the first half will happen, and then when first half of the third set will happen, and then when the second set happens, the other 2 drop off. So it's like this continual chomping up. So if you think of a block as 2 pieces, there's always 4 pieces in standard. At times there will be 6, but then it immediately drops off. Or is it there'll be 5 and then it drops off? I can't remember. But anyway, it's just a constant moving of these 2 block sets.
Yeah.
And there's a nice pretty picture of it on Maru's article.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing about it is like when I first read it, I was like, well, we're going to lose cards, but we're really not going to lose cards because we're going to have 2 bigs and 2 smalls. And that's basically what we have now, unless they screw around and do like a third set big like they've been doing. But I mean, I'm fairly. I wish they would pull the trigger and do it sooner.
Yeah, I hate waiting.
16.
Exactly. I mean, who's heartbroken? Who had their heart set so heavily on M16?
The design team that made it like 2 years ago.
But all those cards can really just be kind of mixed in.
Yeah, except for the thing about it is like the core sets are themeless typically,
Yeah,
and the other sets are so heavily themed that you can't really put those generic cards in.
that's
It's
true.
just not as good. So and plus, I guess they can send the core set out with like a bang. I don't think they're
And
going to, but they
they
could.
basically dump every modern card that's used in this third set. Hey, everybody,
Yeah, it's
who
like.
wants a Tarmogoyf? It's an
By the way,
M16
we're not doing Modern Masters 2. We're just doing M16.
with
Get ready.
right with every modern staple in it, and we're gonna
I mean,
print the hell out of it. Good
and
luck.
they did a good job with M15. I don't know how much playable for constructed came out of it, but I mean, it's a fun set.
Oh yeah, I had a great time playing it.
I think they're gonna. I don't know. I think they could do a good thing with M16 and send it out with some class. But I guess we'll find out next summer. So, I was thinking the other night,
Hmm.
as just a little aside, since May,
Yeah.
there has
Hello.
one, two, three, four. There's been like this is the fifth set of Magic that's come out since May. And that is a lot of Magic, and maybe this new format that they're shifting to
Hmm.
will make it seem like less coming at us as much. I mean, it seems like we've been on a roller coaster of spoilers since May.
Oh yeah, it's been crazy.
Between the last block of Theros, Conspiracy, Vintage Masters, M15, and now Khans.
Yeah.
Just insane. It's so many spoilers. And, like, I don't know. You just reach capacity at some point and you're like, oh, well, that's nice. More cards. So maybe it'll smooth it out a little bit, make it a little bit smoother feeling. So, ah,
Hmm.
spoilers. Let's just
Spoilers.
spoilers.
Okay. Well, like we said earlier, there's not a lot that's been released yet because it's still pretty new in the spoiler season. But we've got a few. We've got some mechanics to talk about. Let's start off with Lens of Clarity, a one-drop artifact that lets you look at the top card of your library and any face-down creatures that you don't control. So basically, you can look at any morph creatures at any time. Just look at them. Oh, what's this? Oh, great. So they've taken all the surprise out of morph and just let you look at them. But it is a common artifact one drop. There are not very many common one drop artifacts. I don't know how far this will be useful. And Standard Pauper, it's really going to depend on how many morphs they put at common. And from what I've seen so far, there's not that many
I think there's one.
so far. And
Yeah.
and when we get to it, we'll discuss our likes and dislikes about it. But yeah, um, interesting artifact. It's interesting that it's common, but I don't know how often. How useful is it to you, Sam, to look
I,
at a morph and look at the top card of your library?
I
Is it worth a card?
It's not worth putting in your deck, and I don't see it playable outside of limited. I mean, because it's the anti-morph gotcha card for
Yeah.
limited. But I mean, one of the kind of the tenets of Standard Pauper at the very least is you play aggro,
Hmm.
you play creatures, you play answers, and Lens of Clarity is absolutely none of those things. I saw that and I'm like, I'm gonna have to talk about that at some point, and I just don't think it's not meant for constructed. It just isn't. It's just not for constructed. The
Yeah.
art on it's nice.
Oh yeah, it's really cool. I like how they gave Morph a structure in this one. I don't remember there being a structure of what Morph looked like, in previous sets. But now
No.
they even have tokens that can represent morph. That kind of
Yeah, no,
swirly
that was
fire.
cool. The little tokens that go over the upside down cards.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a really cool idea that I wish they would have done during Onslaught Block, but they weren't doing things like that back then.
No.
So, but no, yeah, Lens of Clarity. Maybe if it let you like scry the top card, it could do something, but then it wouldn't be common. I just
Right.
don't see really anybody playing it.
Yeah, me either. Well, let's look at the next one. Bitter Revelation. It's 3 and a black sorcery. It's got Soren on it. Hey, Soren. Speaking of Soren, my daughter, I looked at her laptop the other day. Her background is a big old picture of Soren.
Wow,
I guess he's hot, huh?
he is
Eh.
fire.
Yeah, he is. At least he doesn't sparkle. I got that going for me. I'm going to hang on to it.
Fully.
Anyway, look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 2 of them in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. Lose 2 life. Well, that's a decent amount of card draw. It's sort of like um, read the bones for 1 more mana, except you get to look at all 4 cards at once instead of guessing what the next 2 will be if you scried any to the bottom. I don't know. Sorcery. Think I'm gonna stick to Sign in Blood. What do you think?
I'm gonna, yeah, Sign in Blood pretty much all the way. I think in the hierarchy of the 3 cards, it would go Sign in Blood, Read the Bones, Bitter Revelation. As far as playable, I mean, just for casting cost is like
It's
into
crazy,
the mid game.
right? And it's if it was instant, yeah, I'm kind of digging it. But geez, sorcery.
And I mean, I like digging forward. I mean, I think that part is probably the best part, but I mean, even then, Read the Bones for 1 less mana, you're still getting 4 cards. And sure, I mean, you have that possibility of like shifting 2 to the bottom and then just going blind for the next 2. That's what you're doing with Sign in Blood anyway.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think this Bitter Revelation, it's printed at a bad time. Because there's 2 better cards that do a similar thing out there.
I wonder if this is telling us about the future.
That there's going to be something bitterly revealed.
Yes, that drawing cards is going to become greatly more expensive.
There's more stuff on about that Ugin guy on it. So
Oh yeah, that Ugin's a dragon, I think.
I have no idea. I mean,
I think Ugin was a dragon.
isn't that Eldrazi block stuff or something?
It is, and
Yeah.
Ugin was trying to help find the Eldrazi. I don't remember. I know
I don't
Soren's
know.
pissed off at him.
Yeah. Well, Soren's a vampire. I
He's kind of
mean,
pissed off about a lot of things.
yeah, yeah.
I wonder.
I mean,
I wonder if they're going to try to make Soren the good guy and Sarkin Vol the bad guy of this set, or is it going to
wasn't
be
I mean, isn't
Sarkin's going to be
Sarkin a
good?
bad guy anyway?
Well, he was when he went mad, but that was because of Nicol Bolas jacking with him.
I mean, I miss Nicol Bolas. I
Nicol
remember when he was
Bolas.
just a dragon
Yep.
with the prohibitive
Cost.
cost.
Upkeep, yes.
Ugh.
It's ridiculous. Alright. Well, let's move on to the next one. Oh, hey, how about this? What if this said, draw 4 cards, put 2 of them in your graveyard, lose 2 life? Like, draw 4, discard 2, lose 2?
Is that oh, that's way better.
Yeah.
That
Oh.
would be way better. Oh, I'm going to pitch these 2 lands from my hand.
Exactly. I'm just fantasizing at this point, but
Yeah, no,
oh my
no,
God.
that's way better. That took me a second to process, but no. Yeah, that, I don't know, that would have a different colored rarity symbol than what it has now. So
Yeah, I'm just saying that would make this awesome.
yeah, way better, way better.
Yeah. Anyway, enough Fantasyland. Okay, next one. Here we go. It has a new mechanic on it. Mardu Skull Hunter. One in a black human warrior. Mardu enters tapped, which is too bad, but this thing has raid. It kills bugs dead. No. When Mardu Skull Hunter enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, target opponent discards a card. That's kind of cool.
Which wedge is this guy in?
He's the one with the wings, the dragon wings one.
Let me. I'm
Yeah,
looking at Mythic
yeah.
Spoke right
Pull up.
now.
Yeah, pull up the Mardus and the.
Okay, so he's in the
wing.
red, white, black one,
Yeah. What's
and
that?
they're the speed.
Speed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
What's that one called?
Zergo. I don't know. I'm trying to learn the new names.
Well,
It used to be Dega.
Dega. Yeah, Dega was awesome.
Yeah.
Dega.
Yeah. And I mean, it looks like from what I can tell, they're going to be like the more aggro
Yeah.
color combo. It's weird though because they have like a lot of like kind of tokeny control-y things.
Mm-hmm.
The mechanic of it, I don't know. I think
yeah, their mechanic is raid.
The best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I like the effect. I don't know how relevant it is.
Yeah. Oh, he is Mardu. Like Mardu is the clan. Duh.
Yeah, Mardu, the name Mardu.
Yeah, that's it.
Mardukian.
Wow, staring me right in the face. Anyway.
Yeah. But no, I like the effect, and I mean it's a reasonable body. I guess it's a little annoying he can't block when he comes into play, but are you going to block with the 2-1 a lot anyway?
Not really.
Yeah, I mean he's a good little aggro creature. So
yeah, the discard shouldn't be discounted. No pun intended, or no homonym intended. So yeah, I don't know. I think there's something there.
I mean, I think if there's a good 1-drop you can play into him, play 1-drop attack, play him, then he gets a lot better.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know, like, Typhoid Rats out of M15 pops to my head as being one of the only black 1-drops around right now.
Yeah.
So that might like lower his value a little because you really don't want to play him out on turn 3 if you could avoid it.
That's very true.
Yeah, but I mean, it really depends on what the rest of the set shapes up like. Keeping in mind that at this point of spoilers, they're doing all the things to hook people into the set, and spoiling commons really isn't one of those things. So there's a lot of commons to come still. So
yeah, no kidding. All right, well let's. I think like you, I think it's good. I'm concerned if you ever have to cast him cold, you're probably not happy. So you need to make sure your deck is enabling this guy if he's going to play a big part of it. If there's a lot of other discard spells, like they put in a lot of Liana's Specters and stuff like that kind of cards, then maybe that in itself is worth doing. Because if if it's total hand attack, maybe.
yeah.
Okay, let's look at another Mardu. Mardu Warshrieker. 3 and a red. Orc. Bringing back some orcs. Shaman. This raid is when Mardu Warshrieker enters the battlefield. If you attacked with a creature this turn, add red, white, black to your mana pool.
So second main phase, pay 4, get 3 back.
Mm-hmm. Playing a 3/3 for 1 mana, I'm okay with that. Then you can play something else immediately after.
Yeah.
like that guy we just looked at, the Mardu Skull Hunter,
I
because you
mean,
know
it
how.
does let you ramp right into him pretty good.
Yep. So yeah, you
Let
got
you
this
ramp into
guy.
burn. I mean, he's not bad. I wouldn't straight compare him to like Burning Tree Emissary or anything like that, but he has a similar like secondary little ability to generate mana for you.
Hmm.
That's not bad. I mean, that's never ever a bad thing. So
One thing I think we're probably going to start shifting to on the show is also talking about how things fit in other formats. We're going to concentrate on Standard Pauper mostly now, but one thing I think when I see this is I think attack with something, Mardu Warshrieker, Cloud Shift Mardu Warshrieker, and now you're sitting on top of 5 mana and casting something significant. So you've actually upped your mana take. So you had 4 to cast this, cast it, get 3, use the white to Cloud Shift, and now you have red, red, black, black, white. So you're sitting on top of 5 mana to do something pretty hefty. I don't know what, but you got a lot of juice to do it right there.
and I mean, in classic Popper, that's I mean, that's just kind of for virtually nothing. One card.
Right.
I mean, that's a good advantage. That's not anything to sneeze at all. So, I mean, yeah, there's something there. Probably something for somebody like the Lexiquiff to break, but it's
Yeah,
there. So,
that's true. Let's see, is there any. Oh, yeah, you could. Well, I don't know. Anyway, some stuff to think about for the future. Raid could be something. It incentivizes you to cast creatures and stuff second main phase. So let's look at Shambling Attendants. This is a 7 and a black creature zombie for a 3/5. Is paying 8 for a 3/5 ever sound good?
no,
No, it does not. It has Death Touch. Does that make it better?
um, no,
No. But this also has Delve. Each card you exile from your graveyard while casting this spell um, uses pays for 1 mana, 1 colorless mana. So you can exile stuff from your graveyard to reduce essentially the casting cost of this card. Okay, at what mana cost does this become okay, and at what mana cost does this become exceptional?
one,
1 is
and
exceptional.
it's called Typhoid Rats. That touch, power, and toughness is less important.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I'm looking at other delve spells.
Hmm.
There's only three. There's only 3 other delve spells. Why did they bring back delve? I don't understand. Are they gonna highly enable it?
They're going to have to. You're going to have a lot of ways to just throw a ton of crap. There's one mythic that's already been spoiled. Have you seen that one? Like empty the tombs as
Empty
opposed to
the pits.
empty the pits as opposed to empty the warrens. But that is okay. Empty the warrens was 3 in a red, and you get 2 1/1 goblin tokens, right?
For each spell you've played.
Yes.
Storm.
Storm.
Yeah.
So this is XX black, 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 black. So double X, 4 black. You get a 2/2 zombie for each
2.
X. You get two 2/2 zombies for each X. So if you cast it for 2 black, 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 that's 6 mana for 2 2/2 zombies. But you can delve to make it. So let's say you happen to have, I don't know, 20 cards in your graveyard. So what you do is you have 10 10 black, black, black. So 10 is going to put out 20 2/2 zombies. Now, that's pretty good. But at what point you're going to have to do a lot of things to get something that catastrophic into your to get that many cards into your graveyard.
I mean, what deck are you playing that you have 20 cards in your graveyard and you're not winning already?
Yeah.
Or you've just got all of your creatures killed and you're just going to lose. I mean, what point does Shambling Attendants, like, I don't, I have a hard time wrapping my brain around the Delve mechanic because on really none of the cards does it seem all that great. Even the older ones, Tombstalker seemed okay. Mm-hmm. I never drafted him when I did my Modern Masters.
Right.
But it just doesn't seem like a great mechanic because there's so much setting it up.
You're saying there's a ton of setup cost to that.
You have to do so much to make it good, and they have to overcost the cards to make it even necessary to put Delve on them.
Right.
It's like broken affinity. Not even that. It's affinity for cards in exile, kind of. It just doesn't feel good, and I doubt it's gonna get anywhere in any format, maybe limited, but I could see myself opening and empty the pits and just letting it go.
Yeah,
because just to get the tokens, you have to spend like 1 million mana.
Yeah, so basically, since it's instant, isn't it? Let's look. Let's find out.
Yes, it is an instant.
It's an instant.
So that's better.
So basically, end of turn, you put out 20 2/2s.
Yes.
And then you attack with them.
Yes. And then you probably win.
Right, but that's...
I mean, that's magical Christmas. Yeah, that's magic Christmas land.
There's a lot of ifs.
That's no upheaval zombie infestation.
Right. Oh,
okay,
God.
It's just not. Okay.
I have a zombie infestation deck that I love so much. It's just the best.
I mean, Uzi, it's just great deck. That card is not zombie infestation. Don't get confused. And then Necropolis Fiend is the other. It's another rare Delve card. It's flying. Exile X cards from your graveyard. Target creature gets -X in the end of turn, but it costs 9. So it's activated ability, and you have to pay X to activate its ability.
So basically, you're depleting your graveyard to get it out onto the field. And then you have to deplete more of your graveyard to make that mechanic work.
Yes.
Yeah, that seems...
And, I mean, reusable removal is always good pretty much all of the time. But, again, it just feels like you have to self-mill like mad to get that mechanic to work. And I could be wrong. I guess it could happen naturally, just the attrition of the game, casting spells, losing creatures. But, I mean, I pay 4 creatures, you killed 4 creatures, now I can cast my Shambling Attendants for 3 mana? No, 8, yeah, for 4 mana. Does that make that card any better? Weren't those creatures that I had to exile probably better?
I don't know, man. You don't have to exile just creatures. Let's say...
Well, no, but creatures...
Let's say you had 4 Evolving Wilds in your deck.
Yes.
So you're sitting at a graveyard with 4 Evolving Wilds in it for some reason.
Right.
I don't know why you're doing this. So you're sitting with 4 Evolving Wilds, and you can cast this on turn 5 for 3 and a black. Death Touch. 3/5 Death Touch for 3 and a black. Is that worth it? When you
several problems come up. Number 1, your first 4 mana drops for Evolving Wilds, and you're so far behind on tempo that you're probably at 6 life. Number 2, your big play is Shambling Attendant. Okay?
Yeah,
And
so
it's gonna
there's
block one creature and you're going to die. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just not giving enough love to Delve, but
okay. I'm gonna throw one thing out there
okay.
now. Delve, I agree. There's so much setup cost to getting Delve to work, and people are gonna go, "Oh, but you can do Seder Wayfinder and blah 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 blah." I don't care. There's a ton of setup to get good things out of Delve. Again, lots of setup. But I did notice on a couple of new cards there are references to for as long as it stays in exile. What I'm wondering is if is there something we haven't seen that's going to greatly start pulling things from exile. I don't
Hmm.
know if it's in this set, but what I have seen are just references to that wording as long as it is in exile. Now
Um,
I know there's like um, oh there's a few cards that actually cut off things that are have time counters on them, which are basically in exile.
right.
But that seems why would they just now start wording things that are exiled to reference cards that haven't been printed in a long time? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the last time they did like a time travel plane craziness, that was Time Spiral Block, and that's when they started to introduce like really big flicker effects,
Mm-hmm.
like put in exile until the beginning of next upkeep and stuff like that. And
Right.
this has that time travel thing going on in the second set. So I mean, there could be something there. They could be setting that up. The the counter argument to the Seder Wayfinder thing
Yeah.
is the Seder Wayfinder decks that people play. They play those to have value from the cards in the graveyard. They want the big Necrogen scutters and stuff like that. They don't want to exile the cards from the yard to play like such like goofy menial little cards. So I mean, you could go that route and maybe it's a thing, but I mean, it just doesn't feel like the thing that
Right.
we're doing. It just doesn't.
So basically, you're working at you're working at cross purposes.
Yeah.
You're putting stuff in the graveyard, but the things that like things in the graveyard tend to like things that are currently in the graveyard. Because if you're casting this for Delve, you're removing the potential there. So if you cast your green creature that gets plus X for each creature in your graveyard, now it is a 0 because you just delved everything out of it.
Yeah. And it just makes that card worse, and that card's way better than Shambling Attendants. Even
Yeah,
without that touch, even without just the vanilla body, it has big, and
mm-hmm.
big is important.
That's true.
Big is very, very important. So,
All right, well, let's move on to the next one.
yeah, let's stop talking about Delve now before I start crying.
Okay, my favorite clan, the Jeskai. Love these guys. Jeskai Wind Scout, 2 and a blue. Creature, Bird Scout, flying. Has prowess, which I love that they have made this an actual named ability. Your Kiln Fiend, your Nivix Cyclop, your Wee Dragonauts were just predecessors to prowess. Prowess, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, although this is actually better because it works off enchantments and everything else, planeswalkers, whatever.
Oh, it does. Wow.
Yep,
I hadn't even thought about that.
this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Welcome to my eggs deck. I love you, Jeskai Wind Scout.
Oh, and all those cantripping enchantments from Theros.
Yes. You see where this is going.
Wow, that's gonna be a deck in Standard Pauper at the very, very least.
I absolutely
We just
love this card.
and they are what color combo are they? They're the white, red, blue combo.
Yeah.
Um, so we just need a
Wait,
couple more
no,
of
no.
those dudes,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, and there are quite a few of them. Wait, what card combo is Jeskai? Hold
Isn't
on.
just Sky? Yeah, they're the red, white, and blue.
Oh yeah, they're American, I
Yeah,
think.
they're America.
Wait, are they black? No, they're what are they? They're
Yeah,
white, red, blue, red. Yeah, blue. You're right. Red, white, blue.
yeah. Red, white, blue, or blue, red, white is what they technically are, but whatever. Um, and I mean, those are
Yes.
cards with typically a pretty decent amount of really good instants, pretty decent
Mm-hmm.
enchantments,
Yes.
and some of the best counter magic in the game. So I feel I have okay, and I know I'm insane because I just am. I have a very like Delver of Secrets kind of feel for this guy. I think I think there could be mind crushing decks built around this particular card.
I would like to point out one thing. This
Yes.
does not say when the spell resolves. Just making sure everybody remembers that.
Yeah, just have to cast it just like
Just
when
to
you target
cast
a hero.
it. That's right.
Yeah, just like when you target a hero, gets the counter. Even though
Mm-hmm.
this is only to end a turn, it's still that's still I mean, it's frightening. It really is. It
Right.
really is.
Because what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to have Heartless Summoning and my Mirror Servitor, and I'm just going to cast and cast and cast and cast an attack. But actually, I guess it would die because Heartless Summoning is -1/-1. But there are other prowess out there that don't do that. So anyway,
I'm
I,
gonna I'm
I'm
gonna
just
play
saying.
this in a I'm gonna play this in a red blue deck, red white and blue deck, and I'm gonna drop a God's Willing on it, and I'm going to the two casting cost 3 damage, and then I'm going to hit you for 6 damage through the air, and you're going to cry because that's going to happen on turn 4
Yeah, I think
without a problem.
this is a way better mechanic than Delve.
Oh yeah, not even
Way.
comparable. I mean, and it looks really good on pretty much every card that I've seen at pretty much every rarity level. Um, I think raid might be a more solid mechanic because you're going to be attacking, you're going to be
Mm-hmm.
playing creatures, but this one has finesse to it, and that I love. I love it. So, pretty happy to see that.
Right.
And just the they have, and I know it's not relevant. They have flying crane technique.
I know, isn't
I've
that
seen
awesome?
that.
Yes.
That is the best name for a magic card ever. I want to play that in every deck from now on.
Yeah, I don't even care if it wins.
No, and it
I
really doesn't even do all that much. It costs 6 mana, but it's awesome.
I
So
know because what's awesome is you get to say, "I attack with flying crane technique," and you untap all your creatures and they fly, go wah,
can
and
you
do
beat
double
my flying
strike.
crane technique? No,
Yeah.
you cannot beat my flying crane technique. Whoa. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty happy. Pretty happy at that.
No, it for flavor wise might get my win for this
I mean,
card so far.
they are the
It's
old school.
awesome.
They're the old school Wu Tang Clan, Kung Fu Clan. They really are, and I love how they're playing that up. They have the flavor that Kamigawa Block should have had.
Yeah, no kidding. Because they have Jinn, birds, and humans.
Yeah,
The fact that they made Jinns like an actual race with not nearly the drawback as old Jinns did.
uh,
Oh, so awesome.
no, it's very cool. So far I've been really enjoying seeing those guys. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, no, that one particular, I mean, the Wind Scout, I like a whole bunch. So,
me too.
okay,
I'm making a deck with this in it, but you know how I've done the blue skies and all that. But yeah, definitely making a deck with this theme in it, if nothing else. I don't care if it wins or not. It's awesome.
it is awesome.
Well, let's move on to the next one. Here we go. This
I didn't.
is the Enoch Bondkin. 1 and a white Hound Soldier. It's a 2/1. It has the feature text of each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it has first strike. Handy, kind of a mini lord in a way. It has the mechanic Outlast. The Outlast of 1 and a white. For 1 and a white, tap it, put a 1/1 counter on it. Do this only as a sorcery. I think that's kind of silly. They should let you do that as an instant, but whatever. So, it can make itself grow. It has unlimited growth potential. It can sit there and make itself bigger and bigger and bigger, and it does it once, and it has first strike. But you cast it on turn 2, you tap it and put a thing on it in turn 3. Even if you curved out your mana perfectly, turn 3 you're seeing with just 1 mana open and a tapped 3/2 first strike. I don't know about that.
What clan is this the mechanic for?
It's the one with the dragon tooth? Let me look. Hold on. No, is it dragon tooth or claw? Let me see.
It's the white, black, green.
White,
so
black.
Abzan?
Let's see. Is that Abzan? Yep, Abzan.
Yeah.
Abzan.
Abzan. It feels weird for Abzan because only the white cards have it.
So far.
So far that they've
yeah, I don't think we haven't seen any non-white. Well, we've seen multicolored creatures. We've only seen
yeah,
white.
but none of them have Outlast.
Right, but then on the other gold cards on the Jeskai, they didn't have prowess.
Oh, okay, that's right. Because the way that they explain the set is that the first color is the focus color. So white's gonna have Outlast, blue's gonna have prowess, black's gonna have delve, red's going to have raid. Wait,
Raid. Yep.
Have you seen raid on a black card?
Oh, we saw it on that one Redo. Who knows? I don't know.
We'll figure it out. I'm sure it's distributed more evenly than that.
Right.
But it's you still trying to kind of figure out how they're going to do it. But like, I don't know. I compare it to Chronomenaton.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
What was it? M13?
Yeah.
M13.
M13 had Chronoton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
okay.
He's infinitely better. Even without the bonus, because he was 1, tap 1, grow.
Mm-hmm.
A lot less commitment. And I don't know. I mean, I don't mind that type of effect in a white weenie deck, because just a 2/1 isn't bad, and then when he stops being relevant and you have extra mana on the board, then you can start turning him sideways, pumping him up, and if you get a few of them into play, you've got an army of first strikers.
It's true.
So that's not bad. It just seems like a lot of commitment, and I think at the base of the game, there's still that whole don't play creatures you have to make good, play good creatures.
Right. Now here's the thing that I did an article about a year ago on the basically where mechanics come from and how they've morphed over time. You know, like the Lycids were the creatures that were enchantments, and then they came out with bestow and stuff like that. Just went through the history,
I remember
and
that.
this just like monstrous. This is yet another form of level up, which I just don't understand why they don't just bring back level up. I mean, was it that hard?
They're saving it. They're saving it for the return to Eldrazi land.
Okay, But I mean, this is what it is. But doesn't it accomplish all the same things? Level up only as a sorcery. You do one in a white. You level up one, and then each creature you control with +1/+1 gets first strike. And then you could have level ups be, I don't know, whatever limit you want it to be. But I'm just saying that this is a lot of text and a lot of downside to do essentially the exact same thing that level up did.
I think level up is better though, simply because as you hit the different levels, you kept getting additional bonuses. Typically, even on the commons, there was the one that turned into the 6/6 island walking worm guy that started from like a 2 casting cost,
Right.
and that's better for the mana investment. This guy is going to take you a bunch of mana to get near that level, and all he's going to end up with is first strike. And I mean, I guess it depends on the how many tokens you can get on different creatures,
Right.
how many first strikers you can generate. But I think this is a weaker mechanic. I think it's better than Delve, but not as good as the other two by any means.
Yeah.
So I think Prowess is probably the best so far. Ray,
Yeah, and then Outlast.
this guy, and then Delve. Yeah, Outlast. Well, Outlast before Delve.
Before Delve. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, because Outlast fits the color at least better.
I agree. It works
Yeah,
pretty well.
so by far it fits White Weenie. Because at some point in a White Weenie, you have an empty hand.
Mm-hmm.
You have something. You want to do stuff with your mana.
Right.
Cards like this let you.
Eventually, you can break a stalemate if you just keep growing this bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, you can get past parity at some point.
Yep.
So,
all right. Well, let's move on to the next one. This one is weird. Abzan Guide 3, and then the Abzan cost: white, black, green. Human warrior with a creature sitting on a creature who you can't even see all of. With lifelink. Now, it is a morph creature. You pay 3 and you turn it face down for a 2/2. Its morph cost is 2 white, black, green. Really? You get a 4/4 lifelink. That is a ton of mana for a 4/4 lifelink. Now, it makes me think, when I saw this morph cost, I was like, hey, maybe they're trying to say they want you to cheat it into play. Like there's going to be ways that they're going to do to cheat morph into play. So you have some morph out there, and then, flicker effects of some kind, or do something. Maybe a card specifically that says turn face down, card face up. Whatever. That's what I thought. But then they spoiled an uncommon. Let's look at it. It's called Suspension Field. 1 in a white. I've seen very similar enchantments like this. When Suspension Field enters the battlefield, like Journey to Nowhere, you may exile target creature with toughness 3 or greater until Suspension Field leaves the battlefield.
I hate this card with the burning hot intensity of 1,000 suns.
So, you can't exile morph cards. Why did they change Journey to Nowhere and give it this bizarre morph hating
Are they
effect?
really that afraid that we're going to be blowing up our own removal to get cheap morph creatures? Don't they understand that morph creatures are never that impressive? Because you have to spend 3 mana and then a whole lot more mana to make them into a good creature.
Right. Now, there are some at Uncommon that actually have exceptionally reasonable morph costs. This, however, has a horrible morph cost. At no point am I playing a 5 casting cost 4/4 lifelinker. What was the Dawnstrike Paladin?
Yeah.
Did anyone play that
No.
at all?
The angel, the 2/4 flying angel.
Well, that was awesome. It was only
That
like two white, wasn't it?
yeah. That was better than this card by
Oh
a
yeah.
shot. This card you can't okay, in draft morph goes high. And the
Sure.
reason why is because it fits into every deck because any deck can pay 3 mana.
Right.
Okay. But in constructed we can be a lot more picky, and I would rather play 2 Sungrace Pegasuses than this card any day.
Yeah.
And it's 1 less mana to do that, because by the time this hits, the Sungrace Pegasuses have probably gained you 2 life each.
Yeah.
Okay? Before this even becomes anything more than a 2/2 creature for 3 mana. I dislike this type of design a whole bunch.
Yeah, it's filling our lives with gray ogres.
Not only that, but when you look back at Morph Through the Ages,
Mm-hmm.
and you go, common morph, hey look, there's Fathom Seer.
Yeah, Fathom Seer. Yeah,
which is Gush on a stick.
it's
And
awesome.
now we're stuck with bad, non-flying, 3 casting cost Sarah Angels. Or not even Sarah Angels, because it's just not as good.
Right, it's not vigilant.
Oh, I mean, not all the morph is that bad in the set, though.
Right, they have that whole it's uncommon, so can't
The
use it
free
standard.
morph cycle
Yeah, reveal a
is,
card. Oh,
yeah, it's pretty good. I do like the free morph cycle. Obviously, it had to be uncommon. Obviously. The rare Rattleclaw Mystic
mm-hmm.
is
What's
pretty
that one
good.
do?
He's the one that taps for green, blue, or red. When
Oh
you
yeah.
morph them, you
Mm-hmm.
add green, blue, or red to your mana pool. Ice Feather Aven is the flying 2/2. When you turn it up, it mana wars something.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I mean, there's definitely ones that are better at different rarity levels, but there's no Mindbender, Fathom Seer. There's just not the power level, which is so strange because they push power level on creatures constantly, and then they make these like so far really weak looking morph creatures. I was not excited to hear Morph as the returning mechanic, because I remember how messy Morph was to play in paper. It's easier online because they let you like X-ray through your cards,
Mm-hmm.
but it just feels, I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't particularly care for it.
Right, unless it's just replete with flicker effects, and you can be cheating these in left and right. I don't. I don't know. I don't
Even
see it
then,
as good.
you have to have something worth cheating, and we haven't seen that yet.
Right.
So it would be cool if they did a Morph Planeswalker. I know they're not going to because they've already spoiled probably the 2 that are going to be on the set.
Yeah, Soren and Sarkin.
Soren and Sarkin.
Sarkin Bowl.
Sarkin the Dragon Speaker.
Yep. All right. Well, sorry to end on a low note, but that looks like it's it for all the Khans of Tarkir spoilers this evening.
I think we might have just a couple more.
Really?
Just more. Yeah, I think they did some maybe a little more spoiling today.
Huh. Okay. Well,
And
let's see what happens.
maybe some stuff to talk about.
Okay. Let's look here. I'll just click this button here. Wow. Okay. Here it is. Bloodfell Caves. Enters the battlefield tapped. It's a land. When Bloodfell Caves enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Tap to add black and a red. It's the Rakdos Guildgate, but better. Wow.
It's the refugees from
Oh yes, the Zendikar.
Yeah, the Zendikar refugees step down to the appropriate rarity level, folks.
That's awesome. Well, let's look at them. Let's see if we got any more. We also got. Oh, here is the Golgari one, Jungle Hollow, and then
Look at
we.
the arts. The arts are
Oh, it's
amazing.
incredible. My favorite one. Look at this, Scoured Barrens. Oh, it's a desert with the sun bleached bones in it. It's
It's
incredible.
awesome.
So there's the Orzhov. Oh, wind scarred crag. There's the Boros. That looks awesome. It's like it looks like plateau, but different. It's really cool. And what's this next one? Swiftwater Cliffs.
And I think that art is amazing.
Yeah, the is it? That's really
After
nice.
that perfect balance between just what is it is really kind of all about. And it's awesome. They did the enemy colors. It will really help with the wedge theme.
Right.
So that's just spectacular. Like really, they needed to do this. And I was just complaining like last night. You're gonna have to
Oh, I
spend,
remember.
you're gonna have to spend rares and uncommons to get fixing, and that is a horrible draft format when
No
you have to
kidding.
do that.
I'm just glad that, I mean, I guess since they put enemy colors in this set, like, I guess we can expect the buddy colors some other future set or something like that.
Or
Or
maybe
what? Oh, don't tell me. Oh my
they did
gosh.
something just a little different. They really threw us a huge bone here.
Oh, look at this. Blossoming Sands. It is the Selesnya. Same thing. Comes in tap, gives you a life. This is incredible. Dismal Backwater. It's the
Oh,
Dimir.
and that art is spectacular.
They really went all out on this art. It's impressive.
I have to actually say, for dollars to dollars, I like the art on these better than the fetches.
Oh,
By
there's
far,
no question, no question.
compare, 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 and we haven't seen it yet. Compare the white blue one of these to Flooded Strand.
Let's see.
Flooded Strand looks like a kid drew it.
Then we have Rugged Highlands, which is still awesome. It's the Gruul. Oh, and then we have Thornwood Falls, which is still pretty cool. It's the Simic. And here it is, the one you're talking about. Tranquil Cove, the white blue. That is awesome.
And it just looks so good. And these are so incredibly good because they Wizards wants to keep the format slow, and they made it obvious
Hmm.
by putting these in the common slot. People are going to be drafting them probably pretty high. I can imagine, hey, I'm going to spend at least 3 to 5 picks in my draft on lands.
Right.
They're going to come into play tapped. I'm going to gain a life, so I'm going to get a little taste back off of them. It's going to be pretty.
Right.
But for us in constructed land, these are just strictly better guild gates.
Right. Especially now that all the Gates Matter cards are rotating.
And really,
These are just awesome.
when you stop and think about it, outside of the actual gatekeepers,
Hmm.
they really kind of wasted that whole thing. They just didn't explore it far enough. They didn't push it. There wasn't like a burn spell based around gates in play or and stuff like that. So, and they can never go back to it because
Right.
it's so
Because
heavily
it's
tied
Ravnica.
to that period of Ravnica. Even if they go back, are there going to be guild gates? Probably not. So, but I mean, these could see play. These could see reprints in the future.
Right.
Is they're not really tied thematically to anything.
It's exactly it. And that's what they said they're doing from now on. They're going to try to make things, especially utility things, reprintable. That's like their own. That's Wizards' keyword is reprintable. And these, there's nothing in here that ties it. Nothing that ties it
Oh,
into the lands we're at
these
now.
could be right back in M16.
exactly.
I mean, these could be in whatever comes after the first, like, or the third two set cycle land or set. I mean, they could just pop back up any time. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I love the refugees. The refuges. I played them a bunch in Silver Black. They were my first experience with them
Mm-hmm.
because that one life gain, it does really. If you play four, gaining four extra life for just playing a land,
Right.
not bad. And I think you at one point over the last 24 hours pointed out maybe Windscarred Craig has a future in a very powerful, popular Pauper deck.
Right. Yeah. Boros Kitty. It already uses the come into play tapped gain 2 life land.
Crossroads.
Yeah, Cabria Crossroads. You replace that with Windscarred Crag, not only are you fixing your own mana, but you're only gaining one less life that still comes into play tapped. It's, I don't know, to me, I would replace all my Cabria Crossroads with Windscarred Crags just for fixing alone. It just seems so much better.
Yeah, I think losing that one life to get your mana a little more stable is a thumbs up. I think it
Mm-hmm.
is. I think it definitely bears like goofing around with because it's incidental life game, which you play the crossroads
Mm-hmm.
plus fixing. So it's like this perfect like it's just this nice little present underneath Magic Christmas tree land tree, and we're gonna all unwrap it, and I see the guild gates becoming obsolete
Yeah,
pretty quick.
unless you are desperate to play, as Bava put it, guild gates 5 through 8, and really you only need 4 guild gates. I don't see a point unless you're playing the cards that fetch gates specifically, and I believe that's only one card.
One card.
Unless you're playing that card, I don't see a point. You would, if you don't need more fixing, you're just going to use these because the incidental life gain on something you already want is awesome.
And the problem, and the other thing is in Classic Popper,
Hmm.
if you want more fixing, you're going to start playing the Karus from OG Ravnica.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
You're not playing more gates. You're playing Terramorphic Expanses and Evolving Wilds. Um, Obizin, he 4-0'd one of the new weekend Classic Popper daily things. I call them weekend lease because
Weekend lease,
Friday, Saturday,
yes.
yeah, they're only Friday, Saturday, Sundays. He 4-0'd one with the Demary Teachings deck, and I actually submitted his build to the Pauper Gauntlet
Yeah.
because it's amazing. I've played a couple games with it. It is super controlly, super amazing. He plays 4 guild gates, 4 evolving wilds, or 3 and 3 on the search lands, and then basic lands.
Wow.
And that seems so perfect because you get the fixing that you want from the 4 lands that are a little tempo hitty, but then you can thin, even though that's not as big of a thing. But like, there's just so much balance to that type of mana build, and playing a guild gate that also gains you a life in a control deck, playing 2 of those, playing 3 of those,
Hmm.
especially like into the late game where you're trying to finish things off, and those extra points of life can really help you out. I'm sorry, Guild Gates. I'm just sorry. I think your time in the sun was very short, and people wanted more out of you, but Wizards has done you dirty. It's really done you dirty here because these are a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I,
I mean, I hate playing a tap land into a tap land, but I will bounce a Dismal Black Backwater to play a Demary Aqueduct and then replay my backwater the next turn
Yeah.
to get that second life, I will happily do that. I mean,
Yeah,
in game that I'm
it's
playing a
awesome.
control deck. So, and you would never want to bounce a guild gate like that
No,
because the tempo
there's
hit would be
right
devastating
there's
without that extra
there's
life.
zero upside.
Yeah.
Zero.
So, oh, yeah, no. When I saw these this morning, because I took my first break at work, lock, turned airplane mode off because I don't get any cell phone coverage at my desk. Walked down to the cafeteria, and Brennan was like, "These are amazing!" And I went and I looked, and I was like, "Oh my god, they're so pretty! I want to put colors in their g strings." I mean,
Yes.
seriously,
Yeah. No.
seriously. I mean, and I like just these alone means that they're looking out for different formats and at least not trying to, but still doing it accidentally. And I think that's great. Um, so yeah, I really enjoy it. I can't wait to see more commons out of the set. I think we're probably going to have to wait for the full spoiler. But
Hmm.
isn't that either this Friday or next Friday?
I think next Friday.
Yeah, so one more week of spoilers and then we get it all at once.
Be pretty cool.
Yeah, so yeah, but I think that's it, isn't it?
Yep, that's all. There it is. Well, I've come to the end of the show.
Of course.
So,
We should stop real quick
uh-huh.
before we get quite to the end. Remember, because I know Brendan will put this up probably tonight or tomorrow. There is still time to submit decks to Classic Pauper Gauntlet.
Oh yes. Speaking of the classic Pauper Gauntlet, we're going to start having Dan on to discuss how the Pauper Gauntlet goes. Like I said earlier, we're going to start expanding this show and to cover more formats. We're still going to keep to our standard Pauper, but we're also going to showcase other budget formats. Um, Sam likes Silver Black. We could talk about Silver Black if it comes up again on Silver Black League. Budget, EDH, whatever. We're going to dedicate a little more time to cover some more formats.
And I know, I mean, Bears and Hexalite, they have relaunched the pre on Saturday nights. The last Saturday had like 8 people. So I mean, it's right there where they could really use some help. So we can definitely talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the big thing on the horizon besides the community league, which is starting up on Wednesday, really is our crazy Swedish buddy about to play like 600 games of Magic over the next like 3 months.
Yeah, the Pauper Gauntlet. He did it last year to great success, but he is going to be doing it again. How many decks are submitted so far?
I
63 are approved.
I think from the last count it was something like 59
59. Okay.
with a whole bunch of decks on hold because he wanted to let other people submit some. Um, but also the flip side of that is the last deck submitted was on the 7th by a JPS Snake. So the goal originally, Dan wanted about 100 decks to play. So he's like a little over halfway there. So
Right.
if you hear this and you brew, or the other side of the coin is if you just know a deck that you think, hey, this deck gets good results, let me put it on Tapped Out or MTG Deck Box or something and link it on the thing and put it up on the website. Dan
Yes.
will be happy to look at it and either approve it or decline it, but it doesn't hurt to get it out there. I mean, I didn't
Exactly.
submit all of my own decks. I just took a bunch of decks that I went, this is going to be awesome to have him play.
Right.
Dan is no slouch. He plays every deck as hard as he can, and he never
Mm-hmm.
quits. Never, ever, ever quits. Um,
Yeah,
and
he always he's always there. He's always trying to win. He's at heart. He's a spike at heart. If you go
he
to,
is.
yeah, I have it on the screen. If you go to MagicGatheringStrat.com, scroll down just a little ways on the side, you will see a link to submit your decks now. It says Pauper Gauntlet Season 2. Um, it will close on the 10th, so you only have like a day. But whatever deck you have, if you have any kind of sideboard plan, it could be simple as, uh, you know, Delver minus these 3 cards plus these 2 cards, and he knows to take those cards from the main board and those cards from the sideboard. He knows how that works.
And he will do it no matter what.
Right. So
He will just like do your sideboard plan right there. So
yep.
don't worry about that.
So
So
yeah. Well. Okay. So again, Dan's coming on. We're going to cover some more formats. Go to the site, MagicGatheringStrat.com. Go to the YouTube channel, MagicGatheringStrat. Subscribe, like our videos. It's awesome. This is going to be up there. Twitter, MagicGathStrat. Follow that. We also have some Twitch and Facebook. Facebook's pretty active, actually. We have a lot of people out there who write stuff on the Facebook all the time. Several of us moderate it, and we try to answer any questions, work with any feedback. So, for this week, I'm Brennan.
and I'm Sam. Hey, check out the forums on the site too.
Oh, yeah.
We get some activity there. So pop in, say hi. It's a nice to the community without having to put comments on articles.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
you can start up your own threads and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, just like any good forum without all the trolls, because we're gonna not allow that to happen. If anybody wants me, Sam at MagicGatheringStrat.com. Questions about the league, philosophy conversations. I pretty much answer emails 24 hours a day, so don't hesitate. But yeah, no, good time for Pauper.
It is. This would be great.
Yeah.
Lots of activity, lots of things going on, and I'm on Twitter as well. You can search for Cerulean, and I'm the only active Cerulean out there. So one other guy stole my ID, but that's fine. He doesn't do anything. So, well, thanks for tuning in, and everybody have a good week.
Bye.